What's going on YouTube? Claic Yuzolt back again with another Final Fantasy Brave Exvius trial guide, and today we're taking on Aranea. We got to pull for her, and now we're gonna have to take her down ourselves. Aranea is a very kind of unique fight in the fact that she will ramp herself up to the point of not being able to take her damage. She starts dealing out so much damage, it's hard to take her on. So it's kind of like a DPS burn down while being able to have your tank survive. You can see over here that I have her abilities to my, I think it's this side. Yeah, that side. And we can see that they're all physical damage, and some of them are AoE. So what does that mean? One, we need an AoE physical cover tank. Two, they can all be evaded. So that means that there is a strategy there where you can just use a 100% evade tank, and then you can just use your AoE physical cover, and then you literally take no damage. Aranea cannot do anything to that tank. They will evade all of her attacks. The other way you could do it is to have a 100% evade unit and then use Ina Cole to give them that cover ability, and then they can cover for you, and then they don't take any damage. Or you can just take one unit like a Noctis, have him counter or whatever to be able to kill the Aranea. That'll take a little bit of time. I want to thank Defiant Hermit over here. We go to the top here. I think it was, yeah, Defiant Hermit for posting this. Great mod over on Reddit, and thank you for putting this mega thread together. This link will be in the description below if you guys want to look at it. But let's say you guys don't want to use that strategy. I'm going to be showing you the way I did it by not using the 100% evade. If you don't have a 100% evade unit, though, guys, I do want to point out, if you go through the comment section below, there are a ton of people willing to help you and add you, so you can kind of find who you can. Also, if you have a 100% evade build ready and available in some friend slots, please post it in the comment section below. After you guys use their unit, please defriend them so they can add more people. I'd really appreciate you guys out there to help the community. Now, if we were looking to do it without doing the 100% evade, we're gonna have to have a lot of damage mitigation, a lot of health, and we're gonna need a lot of defense because she is doing she's doing only physical damage. A couple of moves I want to point out here that we're gonna be worried about. A lot of these are just generic, more damage, AoE physical damage, or a single target physical damage. Is Radical Belief. That's going to put a 40% attack buff on herself, and after 50%, she's going to cast that every turn. So after 50%, she's just going to be going ham. She's going to be doing a lot of damage. The next one I want to point out is called High Wind. Essentially what she'll do, she'll cast this ability called Wind Reader, and on that turn, she'll cast that on the 4th turn. She is going to be doing a lot of damage. So on her 4th turn, she's going to buff her own attack by 50% and just go on you. And do a lot of damage. But the turn following, if you use a limit burst, it will make her use High Wind 1, which is a 200% damage to all enemies, so it's not that big of a deal. And then she self-turn debuffs her own defense by 50%, allowing you to do a lot of damage. If you don't use a limit burst that following turn, so I think it's your turn 5, and then 10 after that, she's going to be using a 750% physical damage on all enemies. Even this, though, didn't seem that bad with the mitigation I'm using, but if you guys can't have my mitigation, your tanks aren't as, there, you probably always want to be using that limit burst. It's also a mission too. You just got to worry about building it up that fast. The next one I want to point out is the Overclock. Now, guys, this is the ability that she ramps up into, and they can just kill your tank off with, okay? If we look down to the trial AI, she will cast Overclock after she uses a combination of forward lunge and dash thrust a total of 4 times. So every time she does that 4 times, she's going to use Overclock, and then it's going to level up. So first she's going to do Overclock 1, then she'll do Overclock 2, 3, and 4, and it stays at 4 after that. So we have to take her down before we're having to take this 1600% physical damage to your tank every turn. Other than that, all the other abilities besides... Okay, here's one. I forgot about this one. Spectral Flight. It's a self 5 turn. She's going to dodge 2 physical attacks from you. But we're not going to worry about that too much, as this is a damage-dealing race, so we're going to be able to either dispel it if you need to, or just crush through it, as we're going to need to be dispelling things later on. I have learned that Radical Belief, where she'll cast this every turn after 50%, you really just don't need to worry about dispelling it. You need to be able to tank it, I think, is the better strategy there. So again, guys, we're going to go through my team, then we're going to get into the fight and show you how I took her down. And we're going to have a little bit of fun with this one, because... feels good to be able to tank through it, and if you can evade it, it's going to feel even better. So we're going to go over and check out the team now. Okay, so we're here where we're going to be selecting our team. We'll go into the battle here. It's a 40 energy battle, so that's kind of a lot. You can see we need to use a limit burst. We can't be using any items, and we need to evoke an Esper to get this awesome helm. Totally, you're only missing out on 2 rare summon tickets if you end up needing to use items. I mean, that's awesome, but you really just want to get that helm. That's the key thing here, and even the 10,000 raid coins aren't that big of a deal. I mean, I know you can get 4-star and 5% trust, or is it 5% or 10%? I can't remember. Trust Moogles out of the raid, but, I mean, come on. Like, if you need it, if you can't use a limit burst, but you kill her, the big thing you want from her is the helm. Moving on, we're going to be taking, Let's see. Ooh, my filter's working now. My filter hasn't been working for a while. I think it's on Final Fantasy 15. Yeah. Well, it wasn't working on my Android version, but we're going to be taking a Divine Ruination Chaining Friend. Again, Aranea is human, so Maneater and Maneater Plus is going to work on her. Her attack, defense, magic, and spirit can be broken, which is going to be very important moving forward. I'm going to try to find my most damaging unit that I can. Ooh, this one has... Shadow here has... let's see. So we have Diablos on, so that means a Maneater. So I'm going to go ahead and use Shadow here to be able to use that Maneater on the boss there. This is the team we're going to be taking in. I'm using Golem on my Warrior of Light just in case I want to cast the Esper Golem in the middle of the fight. Bahamut's going to be on our Soleil for the... That's normally where I'm going to summon the Esper for a little bit extra damage. I am using 9S here. 9S is so good in this fight. We'll go over each unit now, I guess. I should show the equipment because you guys are going to see it. On your tank, you want as much HP and as much defense as you can put on, okay? Just stock them to the teeth with HP and defense. You don't need any spirit. You don't need any of that other stuff. Just put the defense pots into your tank that you can. Warrior of Light's going to struggle here a bit. He's just not as good as Bosch. If you guys have Bosch, it should be much simpler for you. We can look at the abilities. Mechanical Heart is key here. Mechanical Heart, Warrior of Light is going to take almost his entire health pool every time our Aranea decides it's time for him to be doing that before we ramp up our mitigation. So Mechanical Heart's going to allow him to full heal himself and take a little bit of leeway off of our healer, which honestly, I've been toying around with this. You may not even need really a healer, but you do need kind of an MP battery, I think, for 9S there. But yeah, that's my build here. Again, in the weapon slot, put anything that you can put HP on or defense. That'll be good for you. Moving on, we have Soleil here. Soleil's just going to be our damage, sorry, not damage, but attack, magic, defense, and spirit buffer. Her breaks aren't good enough, in my opinion, for this fight. We need a higher attack break, which is why I'm bringing 9S. But, you know, if you have a good enough tank, you're going to be able to get in there and maybe just do it with the Soleil break. So that's up to you. Then we have 9S here, and what 9S is going to be doing for us is a high attack and defense break. He's going to be able to use his own mitigation, so he has a AoE 3-turn mitigation, so that's damage mitigation he can put on the team. And then we're also going to be using Pod down here, which is his TMR. His TMR was farmable. I know a lot of people don't have 9S right now. Maybe they missed out on it, so they don't have Pod. But if you definitely have 9S, you definitely have Pod. If you don't have these two, what you want to look for on your team is somebody who can damage mitigate and somebody who can break pretty hard. Now, Warrior Light can do that on his own, but we like Warrior Light to be guarding on all the turns that he's not covering, AoE covering, because that's just another damage mitigation. So what we're looking for here with my team comp is we're looking for the stackable mitigation, which Pod gives physical mitigation, which will stack with guard mitigation, which will also stack with damage mitigation. So if it's not specific, they're going to stack up. So it's going to be 3 mitigations we're going to have on our Warrior of Light to have him live. And the spirit, that's not supposed to be there, but I don't have any more HP, and I really didn't need anything else on my 9S, so he's going to be able to be good. Because nobody else is really going to be taking damage unless I mess up. Then we're going to be taking Aria. I think that Rosa here is maybe even a better choice, but I didn't have Rosa equip up, so we're just going to take Aria. You kind of want an MP battery, and Aria can do that, but Rosa's going to do a little bit better, and then just we have to throw dual cast on our Aria to make her be able to dual cast Kuraga. Honestly, you don't even need it this fight, I don't think. So I'm going to go take that off and see if I can beat it without it. And if I lose, I'm just going to keep going through the video because this is a pretty fast fight. And there you go. That's pretty much just put whatever you can on her. She's not really going to be taking damage. Next up is your damage dealer. It doesn't matter who it is, but what you guys want to have on them is, this is very important. I have Maneater Plus, which came from the Elnith 10-man trial. You can check out my guide, super budget friendly. Everybody can go beat her right now to get that Maneater Plus. And then I have Maneater 2 on here. I think you get that from the King Mog shop, not King Mog shop, but Fat Chocobo shop. I think you could buy that from the Fat Chocobo shop. And then I have dual wield on her, obviously, to be able to take that down. And then moving on to our friend unit, you just want somebody who can chain with your damage dealer. And, you know, if they're a physical damage dealer, Demon Killer is always a plus. That comes from Diablo there. So I have 3 types of Maneater stacked up on my Agris. She's going to be doing some mad damage. So let's get into the fight, and I'll show you guys how it actually goes down. I'm not using dual cast here. I took that off, so we'll see how that works out. I don't think you need it, though. So the first turn, I like this music. We're going to use Light is with us. Again, we need AoE cover. We could die right here. Sometimes Aranea, again, there's some RNG in the way her AI works, just like any fight in this game. She could just decide, hey, I'm just going to take you down, and that would be bad. But hopefully we're not. So we're going to go ahead and use our defense buff. We want to buff up our defense. She's going to be doing a lot of damage. Attack and defense break with 9S. Aria is going to cast her Noble Dedication, which, again, Rosa would be here to do her prayer or healer or whatever it is, where she does MP and HP recovery. We're going to use Divine Ruination twice. Well, we're not using Divine Ruination twice. We're actually going to be using Dark Punishment. But essentially, this is the Divine Ruination chaining that we want. So there we go. And we got down to 89% on the first swing. And then this is the part where it's kind of worrisome, because she literally just starts doing damage. Sometimes my Warrior of Light lives with 3,000. Sometimes my Warrior of Light lives with, like, 100. Sometimes he dies. And you can see here I live by a lot. And then Mechanical Heart's going to proc, because he took a lot of physical damage hits. And he's going to go almost all the way up to full, if not full. And there we go. All the way up to full. No worries there. So now we're going to have Warrior of Light go ahead and defend. That way we have more damage mitigation on him, because she does hit really hard. We're going to put up our attack and magic with Soleil. We're going to have 9S go ahead and use his Peace Shield from his pod there. Agrius is going to chain with our good friend Dark Veritas here. Let's see, Dark Punishment. Right, that's the move. 45. Chain. I haven't used Dark Veritas in so long. And then I know it sounds dumb and redundant, but Nodal Dedication again. Eventually, Aria was going to have to Dispel. I just want to make sure that's up. There's really nothing else for her to do. And then we're going to chain it up, guys, and get her down even more. Let's see what happens on this next turn. This is the turn where I really don't think I take any damage. We have Guard Mitigation up. We have Peace Shield up. He shouldn't be taking that much damage. And as you can see, if he was 100% evade, he would be taking no damage. So that's kind of important there. And then he just Mechanical Hearts his way back to full health. Again, Aria can be replaced with any healer you want. Mechanical Heart can be replaced with somebody who can just full heal or heal better than Aria. Not that big of a deal. So now this turn is important. Turn 4 is where she's going to bring the hate. She's going to bring the damage. So this is the turn. Turn 4 is also the turn where I'm going to have to put Light is With Us back on. But this is the turn I'm going to do it here because I want to be guarding on turn 4. I don't want to be... put up our defensive spirit. I don't want to be worried about... you know, doing Light is With Us. I want to be guarding much damage mitigation as I can. You can see now I'm going to his spread shield. Reduce damage taken for all allies for 3 turns. That's going to stack with all the damage mitigation. Guard, Peace Shield, and what I just cast. Again, she has nothing she can do. She can use Noble Dedication. I guess someone you could put in there, I want a safety net, but someone you could put in there is maybe even Setzer to come in and try to do a little bit of damage, or another Chainer or a Finisher. But I like the safe bet of having a healer and a Razor if I need it. So we'll go ahead and chain up here. See how much damage we can get him down to. 54%, not bad, not bad. She used Spectral Flight there. You can see she used Spectral Flight, meaning that she's going to be able to dodge a couple of attacks. She used Overclock, which is her big hitting ability. Brandish, etc., etc. So now we're using Mechanical Heart here. The next turn, this is when we could use a Limit Burst here to be able to stop the High Wind from doing mad damage and to make herself breakers. To make her break herself. We're not too worried about that. I'm not even going to Dispel here. We're going to look at her. She doesn't even have the attack buff yet. And we'll just hit through the evade. That'll be okay. So we're going to go ahead and defend this turn. Soleil is going to buff up our attack and magic. We're just going to keep dancing with Soleil. 9S this turn is going to take the time to attack and defense break again. Get that going again. Get that up. Is anybody hurt? Anybody need healing? Nope. Everybody's good. So Aria's just sitting in the corner like, why are you doing this to me? Why is this happening? It honestly even could be Garnet with the new Garnet 6-star. So then Bahamut does a lot of damage when you summon Bahamut, and it could, maybe you're building up her Limit Burst, use her Limit Burst. You can even use her new abilities that put up the Limit Burst gauge, actually. If you, not Limit Burst, excuse me, Evoke, Summon gauge, actually. So maybe even Garnet could be better here. You could throw on the staff that gives her dual white magic cast, give her Lakshmi, and then she could actually be healing for you too, but we might need that MP regen, so that could be what's holding us off there, but maybe not. Depending on your team comp, maybe you don't need that. So that's something else you guys can look into. So you can see here, she's going to dodge some of our attacks, but we shouldn't be in too much worried about it, as attacks will eventually hit in, and we get her down. So she used Wind Reader there. She also, because she's below 50%, Wind Reader's going to put her attack up by 50%. She also used Radical Belief. That's 40% buff. So that's the big turn, because again, she gets that 50% damage buff. So you never know what's actually going to happen there, but we had so much damage mitigation, it's fine. I'm not going to worry about debuffing her attack buff again. It is 50%, so it's a little bit more than the 40% that would normally be happening because it's for 3 turns. This is the turn where you need to use a Limit Burst. It doesn't matter if it's a support Limit Burst or an attack Limit Burst. It should be breaking her down, so her High Wind doesn't hit as hard. But let's see. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna live on the edge of life here. I think the next turn is when Warrior Light needs to be doing his cover, right? So yeah, so I don't have a Limit Burst to use. So what I could have do here is dispel her of that attack buff, but she's going to attack buff again anyway. So I'm going to see if I can live. This is a 50% instead of the 40%, but that's all right. Put up our defensive spirit. 9S is going to go ahead and use Peace Shield. Again, that's just going to be physical damage mitigation, which is going to be good. Aria just, I guess, doing the noble dedication. You can see here that this is a spot, but it's going to get a little more rough after 50%, though. We'll see how rough it actually gets. And we'll go ahead with Dark Punishment. Another problem is if you dispel her, is you get rid of your lights. I'm not getting any Esper Orbs either. We're getting a little bit now. There's High Wind. See, it does a lot of damage, but really not so much that you're, like, super worried about it. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like, ooh, see, things get a little rough. I'm living life on the edge there. Trying to make sure I kill her, but I do need some Esper Orbs here. Esper gauge going up a little slow, but we'll build them up. We also need a limit burst, so we might have to start auto-attacking. We'll see. So this is the turn I'm going to have to go ahead and cast my cover, I think, right? Or is my cover still on? It is off. It kind of tricked me there because it was on him there for a second under his name. So we'll go ahead and use that. Okay. Noticing you are a dead unit right now. That's okay. She's back up just in case we need her. Attack and magic boost. 9S is going to use his spread shield because that's our rotation that we're using here. And then we're going to go ahead and hit with the double divine rotation. Still not going to kill yet. And, you know, this chaining is a really good way to get Esper Orbs. So we're just hoping she starts popping out those Esper Orbs like candy. There's a couple, but we are at 10%. It does seem like she wants to stop damage at 10%. Like, I don't know if I've ever pushed her past 10% before. Oh, no. He's going down, I think. Yeah, he's dead. Oh! Oh! All right, let's see if we can recover. We might not even be able to recover this time. So Arya, that's why we need Arya here. We need a Razor here. Go ahead and raise up Warrior of Light, get him back to full health. Let's see, what should I do? What should I do? Probably need attack and defense break. But we'll do our defense and spirit, so everybody has that. Attack and defense break just in case. 10%, huh? I could use Cura here. Curaga. You know, try to get everybody back up to full health. Let's see where we're at on that. This music is sick. And then we're just going to auto-attack here. Try to get her to pop out some good ol'... See what happens. This could be bad. Yeah, we might lose this. Ugh. The AoE, that's what's rough. Don't do any more. High Wind comes now. Oh, we lived. Okay. Woohoo! And we got some Limit Burst crystals. So there's going to be some times where you just get knocked down. But again, we're working with minimal equipment here. Man, if Ari can get our Limit Burst, that'll be great here. And we need our Esper. Fuck. Huh. Let's see. So Warrior of Light needs the AoE cover. That's just something he's going to have to do. Light is what this is coming in. Soleil needs to buff up our attack and magic, I think. She needs to keep dancing. 9S can go ahead and put up our physical damage again. That's a physical damage mitigation. Let's see. So I can't chain really, right? Because if I chain, I can auto-attack chain with both of them. But the Shadow, the Dark Veritas doesn't have a very good chaining auto-attack. Here, we'll try that. I mean, that's the best we can do. We're trying to get orbs out of her, too. There we go. Nice. And we got Arya's Limit Burst, so that's good. This is another reason you want to use her. Boom. Everybody's going to full health. Because she has this amazing Limit Burst here that puts up water resist and it's a Radical Belief. Again, cast Dispelling does absolutely nothing. I think I have seen... Oh, no. Warrior of Light, why? She's overclocked that turn, too. Ooh. All right, we're going to try to kill it this turn. Having Soleil cast Mega Flare, that's for our Esper gauge. Hits Divine Ruination into Dark Punishments. Let's look. Ooh, I'm trying to look. All right, we do have the lowered everything. Okay, so here we go. Click here. And we got it. So we ended up getting it there. It was a little messy, but you guys can kind of see how it works, right? My Warrior of Light still just didn't have enough defense to live through that with all of my mitigation. But I've completed it with this party 3 or 4 times now, and I've had times where it's not even close. Like, you just win. Like, your Warrior of Light never even gets close to dying. It's fine. It really depends on how she uses her abilities. There's a little bit RNG there. But again, guys, you can use this strategy. You can guys go out there and look at what defense breaks and attack breaks you guys have, what mitigation you can use, maybe a Riku with some damage mitigation. But we ended up using no items. We used the Limit Burst, we evoked an Esper there at the end, and we completed it. So, a little bit choppy, but hey, we got there, and it wasn't that big of a deal. So, if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up. Comment down below which strategy you're using. And again, remember, guys, if you have an evade unit or an evade tank that people can use, please post your friend codes in the chat. And then if you guys add them and use them, please delete them afterwards so that they can help other people or at least free up their friend spots. So, and then subscribe to future content. We'll catch you guys in the next video.